Hello and good morning, friends. Today, on this lovely morning, I went ahead and started trying to mow, and on the first turn, the belt went ahead and snapped right for this here deck. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to replace this because I had trouble finding good videos to show me how to do it also. So, maybe this can help you out in the future if you have a Craftsman just like I do. First thing you're going to make sure you do, though, is take the battery out or undo it. I have mine on a trickle charger. And then go ahead and just turn the key just for a hot second just to make sure that any residual power is out, and then take it out. Right? We don't want to accidentally hurt ourselves. I like to make sure that I follow all precautions as best I can. So while we're working on this, the next thing we're going to need to do is get the board from underneath of the mower. So these little pins are really annoying to get out. We're going to have a strut right here, and then we're also going to have another piece right there. If we go to the other side of the mower, we'll see that it'll have another strut hanging down. That's basically what lowers the mower blades down and up. And in the middle, it's a little bit hard to see with the camera, there's actually going to be a little spring. That's what's going to basically turn the mower on or off. Basically, it's what keeps the brake engaged on the little spinning bits. So once I got all those things undone, we're going to go ahead and pull this bad boy out from underneath the mower. It is heavy and really annoying, so the way that I like to do this is you kind of set it as low as you can, and then once you get those brackets undone, it just kind of lays on the ground, and you just kind of slide it out. Now, I've never been able to get these little brackets to sit up very high or very easily. Usually what I do is just kind of pull it for a little bit, and then just raise the bracket up, pull a little bit further, raise the bracket up, pull a little bit further. You only have to clear 3 of those metal pieces. The first time that I did this, I completely forgot to undo the spring in the middle. It was really annoying. It's not going to hurt nothing if you pull on it. You just won't be able to get it out until you get the metal spring out. If you look at the bottom right, you'll see that spring. Now, this is going to be the belt that we got. You'll find this at Lowe's or any other hardware store. This is specifically going to be for the model of Craftsman mower that I have. Very important to make sure that you check to see what type of brand your mower is, as well as the length. So this particular brand has these little covers for the belt, so you just have to unscrew these, that way you can actually get to the stupid thing. If you're ever trying to figure out what belt length you need, basically how I figured that out was I just looked up on the Lowe's website, the Craftsman T110, and then I looked at the spec sheet, and it told me, hey, that's what I need to get. So once we get these off, putting the belt on is actually pretty straightforward and simple. The way that I like to make sure I don't lose these bolts is I just put them in that little groove on the actual deck cover itself. You can put the bolts wherever you want. I just like to make sure that I don't lose any of the pieces I'm working with. So the next part is going to be pretty straightforward. We get the belt put on, right? So you're going to see that the belt is like a little triangular looking shape. The triangle part goes into the black discs, and then you're going to put the flat side onto the silver discs, right? There's this little metal plate that was kind of annoying to get over on both of these silver discs. Basically, how I did it was I just kind of put a little bit of tension on it, and then I rotated the disc while pushing down, and then the belt just kind of popped right in place. Maybe there's an easier way to do it, maybe there's not. I'm not sure. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Have you ever had to replace these belts on your mower? And maybe your mower is a little bit different, right? Maybe you have a John Deere, you have a Cub Cat. So this other one was really giving me kind of a lot of trouble. For some reason, it didn't want to let any motion or the belt itself go into it, but eventually I get it in there. Once it's in, now basically what I'm going to do is just pull it tight, just make sure that everything kind of looks like it's supposed to, didn't see anything kind of out of place, make sure that everything still moves and spins freely, that nothing's kind of bound up. Because the last thing I want to do is put this thing back underneath the mower, start it up, and then realize I have to take everything apart. So basically the assembly is just like how we took it apart. Once we got the belt in there, now we're just going to go ahead and put these covers right back on top. I like to use my drill just because it's a little bit easier. Now, I'm using an impact driver, so it's very important to make sure that I don't get too aggressive with how hard I'm drilling in there, right? But nothing too crazy. I was originally trying to see if Home Depot has these same kind of belts at their store. Just because they happen to be a mile away from me, it was easier to go to Home Depot, but unfortunately, the website said that nothing was in stock, and I didn't really feel like leaving a half-mown lawn go on for another few days. So over to Lowe's I went, which is a little bit further away, and then they have this nice, huge section of boxes that has literally every single belt that I've ever seen for every different make and model of mower. Now, apparently, you're supposed to change these every 50 hours. I didn't know that, but hey, now I do, right? And I'm hoping to share this with you. This is what it should look like before you go ahead and slide it back underneath the tractor itself. So that little arm that I should have moved out of the way, that little thing's been driving me nuts this whole time. But we go ahead and slide everything under, and basically the same way that we took it out is the same way that we're going to put it back in. So I always just like to line everything up first. So what I'm doing right now is I'm feeding the belt through the little belt control little bracket, and then attaching it to the shaft that's going to be connected to the engine. Now, once I get all that in there, there's going to be that little metal bracket that sits in the front. I'm going to attach that, and then I'm going to attach the brackets on the back. Generally, the way that I like to do this is I like to get the spring in the middle on the back side of this deck put in first, then I do the upper and lower arms, right? So we can see here that everything's back where it belongs. We have everything secure and good to go. We go ahead, test, and see, does everything raise and lower the way that it's supposed to? And then now, the moment of truth. We've got everything put back together. The belt's been replaced. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing turned on, and we're going to see, did this actually work? And as you can see here, we got a good startup, and then we're going to go ahead and drive off and give it a test. I hope you found this useful and hope you found this enjoyable. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and as we can see right here in a few seconds, we're going to have mission accomplished with that big old puff of dirt. Whew, look at that. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and until next time, guys.